So my professor has asked me to come up with a couple studies that are examples of studies gone wrong or studies that violate some key principles that we've been reading about in regards to ethical decision making when conducting research in today's online world, collecting data from online communities, putting together the data, and then presenting your findings to your audience. And a lot of it has been focused on kind of what lines not to cross and what boundaries there are and how to still respect your online community that you're researching while still coming up with meaningful data, putting together that data, and coming up with a meaningful study that can help others learn. So I have two examples. So my first example of a study is related specifically to the website or the online community that I am researching this semester, Tone It Up. And so on Tone It Up, they do these seasonal like challenges. So right now they're at the beginning of their Frisky for Fall challenge, where there's a different exercise every day. They have different recipes they post, and pretty much you're getting ready for fall. You're getting fit. So at the beginning of every challenge, these women online on the website, through the online community area, or through also Tone It Up Instagrams that they create, will post pictures of themselves in sports bra, in a sports bra and little shorts, and then usually from the side, the front, and the back, in a way that's like, hey, these are my curves, this is where I'm at. I can't wait to see where I'm going to be after this challenge. And in a way, it holds them accountable, and in a way, it also shows them how far they've come at the end of the challenge. But these women make themselves very vulnerable as they are taking these pictures. It's scary to do. And so if I were to take these pictures from a place that they feel is private, even though it's posted online, it's perceived as in a private community, and I were to take these pictures outside of that community and post them with names, or post them in a place where friends, coworkers, family members, people you don't expect to see these pictures, and see this information. Oftentimes your weight is associated with the picture, and sometimes even like placed within the picture. If I were to take these and put these out there, then that would be taking something that they perceived as private, making that public. And one of the key guiding principles talks about the more vulnerable the participant is, or the author is, the greater responsibility you have as a researcher to protect them in a way. And so the more vulnerable they are, with these women being very vulnerable, I have a greater responsibility to make sure that they're respected, and throughout my research and throughout my presentations of my findings throughout this semester. Another example of a study gone rogue, or kind of against the ethical standards we're holding ourselves to when conducting this research, if I were to find out how much Karina and Katrina, the founders of this community, make, and put that information out online. Because while it is a free website, which is amazing, it makes it available for those who usually wouldn't have enough money to go have a gym membership, or to have certain privileges, they still obviously make good money. You can tell they have good lives, and they sell pretty expensive, relatively, nutrition plans, water bottles, exercise gear, exercise clothes, swimsuits, etc. And so obviously they're making money. And so presenting that data without any context, such as how much does it take to run the business, how much does it take to create these things, you have no context of how much they're actually making, because this is a business that they've created out of their own money and things. Without any of that context, you could be hurting the community and disrespecting the community. Whereas if I were to do the same thing with Donald Trump right now in the midst of this election, I might not feel as bad or as unethical, because it greatly, according to our principles, depends on the community, and kind of it's not a one fits all like ethics or principles that you're being held to. It's kind of situational. And so whereas with Donald Trump exposing how much he makes, I wouldn't have a problem with it. Exposing how much Karina and Katrina make, especially without content and like context, I would feel very unethical for. So I hope those are good examples of some studies we don't want to do when conducting online research. And I hope you guys have a great night.